I'm Susie Jolly. I work in the participation group on sexuality.
Me? Yeah, so can you tell us about communication at IDS in general?
What, with each other or with the outside world?
Oh, with each other.
With each other?
Yeah.
Well, I communicate a lot with people in IDS. Maybe because I've been here so long, so I know lots of people. Sometimes I feel like I have too much communication. I wish everyone would leave me alone so that I could then get on with doing what I want to do. Because there is a bit of a trade-off between talking to each other and talking to all the exciting partners and activists and people outside IDS who kind of sustain me with their energy and ideas. And maybe that kind of communication is often virtual and through email because I can't always be traveling or people aren't always visiting here. But there is that kind of a trade.
Carlos Machado.
What do you do, Juan Carlos?
I'm doing DPhil here at the IDS.
Okay.
Well, I guess that it is, well, I would say that communication is really good, but sometimes it could be like a very overwhelming affair because you receive just tons on email and sometimes you just don't have time to read all of them. So you have to learn to be very picky.
How do you communicate mostly?
What, with other people that I work with or with other areas of the Institute?
Yeah.
Or
What like means?
Well, here we communicate verbally because NOTS has fairly recently come into this, which is more of an open plan setting, which has actually improved our communication quite a lot because we see each other all the time. Other than that, I guess with other areas of the Institute, mostly it's email and the phone and then interminable meeting.
People have gone to, so we've got Yellow Monday, of course, we've got the monthly newsletter, we've got notice boards, we've got emails, so I think internal communications is quite good. It could be strengthened probably in some teams. Maybe from a team frame they need to strengthen their own communications.
Okay. Where do you communicate the most?
Where do I communicate?
Yes.
I communicate to everyone really. Probably internally, I have lots of external people, librarians, policy makers, students. I really cover a whole. From my job, I cover really a whole boundary of people.
So you communicate with everyone, right?
Normally, yeah.
Okay. Where are the places where you communicate the most?
Where do I?
Yes.
Well, probably IDS internal people. Yeah, most people come to the counter in the afternoon. You know. People ring up the phone. I'm normally the first because my phone number's on most of the publication stuff. So people come through to me with queries about publications, and I answer them as well. So basically, if the phone rings, I have to answer it and answer. So normally, BF subscribers, people who buy books, you don't actually know who they are. That's the trouble. They ask a query and you can't really say where you're from, what's your name. So I think it's probably about 50-50 between internal IDS people, including students and external people.
Okay.
I'm Jennifer Levy. I'm a research officer in the Vulnerability and Poverty Reduction team.
Okay, so can you tell us a bit about internal communication within IDS? Who do you communicate with, how, where?
I communicate mainly with people I work with, obviously, and all the people I chat to over cups of tea. So kind of on two levels, really. A lot of it's on email because I work from home quite a lot. I try to get up out of my seat, actually, and go and see people as much as I can. Otherwise, it's mainly on email because a lot of my team work all over the place. So, you know, I collaborate with people in different institutions, so the best way for us to communicate is on email.
Okay. You mentioned having little chats over coffee. Do you do that in the canteen?
Usually it's downstairs, just to get away from the computer a bit. But I share an office with Sally, so we chat here about work, obviously. And, yeah, kind of. Or people in the corridor, if you kind of wander around and you bump into people. Sometimes it's a bit of a nightmare, actually. You don't really want to leave your desk too much because, you know, if you take a little route downstairs to get your tea and back again, it can take you half an hour if you kind of chat to everyone you see on the way, which is always quite tempting.
Angela Doman, I work in the teaching area.
Could you tell me anything about the internal communication within IDS?
Well, we have the intranet, which each department is supposed to their own department. And when we have any queries or need to find out information we're supposed to look on the internet. In practice, I think a lot of people just go on and pick up the phone and ask other people. But it's a very useful resource.
Well, I like the octagon. I like wandering around the octagon and seeing people with their doors open and having informal chats.
Excellent.
I think the building is well designed to promote. The building is well designed to promote internal communication.
Do you have any suggestions for improving communication?
I think it can be quite tricky with people being in different places. So
when you talk about different places, you mean
in different
in
countries?
One office,
no, not in one office,
countries?
but in different countries as well. Or, you know, different, actually physically in different locations, not IDS, not the building itself. I'm not really sure because the workload is such that you kind of have to get on with it really, and so in a way it's kind of good having these little offices because you can just put your head down and get on with it, but at the same time you can miss out a lot, and I know that I've heard about some nice work and got together working with people just from chatting to them in the corridor, but I don't know if there'd be any way of formalising that.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestion to improve the internal communication within IDS?
Any suggestions? Well, it depends, because for some things, you know, I don't really have an opinion because I don't liaise with everybody in IDS. With the people, well, not really. No, I think if people checked the intranet more, I think it would save a lot of time. But email is fine because, you know, you just don't need to see people. They can reply when they're overseas, for instance. So that's very useful.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions to improve internal communication at IDS?
Well, it's already improving now, actually. You know, we've got the tea and talk that happens every 6 weeks or so. I don't know if you guys ever attend that, and it's a good way. I almost call it the theatrical version of Yellow Monday. You know, it's actually a live version of Yellow Monday where the same information is said, but actually in a much more sort of humorous way. I'm not sure what else can be done. Like I said, it's up to I think individuals themselves are responsible to find out what goes on in IDS. They are given lots of information, but it is up to them, you know, to actually find out what they want. If they want to know what a seminar is, it's up to them to look at a notice board or look at Yellow Monday, look at the intranet. You know, they have a weekly diary section on there, so it's up to, I think it's up to individuals to sort themselves out to a degree.